Right, hello folks. I'm going to do a little bit of writing and then cutting out something with my new SDX1200 machine today, just to show you using my original universal pen holder, a Secura pen and some card, and eventually my universal blade that will cut as etc. So first of all we take our, if you haven't seen this before, this is as it comes in two parts, and you place this, you can see there's a place to line it up, you place that in the little grooves there, and obviously take your pen top off. Make sure first before you do that it's actually flowing quite nicely, which it is. And also this Secura pen that I use is actually, it's a jelly roll pen. It's actually a little bit too thin for the actual universal holder. So all I've done is where it would grip, you can just judge that easily. I've just wound some electric PVC tape round the barrel of the pen just to make sure it fits in. So all you do is simply drop your pen in, just turn that round, and it will hit the bottom of this little stand here. And it's as simple as, whoops, drop it in, hold it in there obviously so it doesn't fall out. Lift this grey piece up here and twist it round until it grips the pen. It's as simple as that, very easy solution. So okay, so that's already, so now we no longer need this piece for this next part. So we open our machine and there's nothing in there at the moment. So all I'm going to do is put the universal holder with the back piece facing the back of the machine. Just pop it in there and drop it down. It will only go down so far. And so once you've pushed it down, clip it down. So next I need to retrieve some data. So this is also showing you how to get something from your machine directly on to the scan and cut. I've always already created the file in Canvas, and now I have sent it to my machine. So I'm going to go to the Wi-Fi section, which is here with the little Wi-Fi buttons. Press there and it will retrieve the file. And you can see here that I have Special Vintage and Grand Cru, etc. champagne. So I'm making these for a label for a champagne bottle for a friend of mine who's going to be 80 in a few days' time. So next thing I need to do is load, very obviously, load my mat. So I'm going to pop that so it's nice and even, etc. and press the button that looks like a mat, and it will take that, feed that into the machine, recognize it and pop it out. Now my advice when doing any wording on a card or anything is to actually do the wording and cut afterwards, because then you'll know that everything is in the perfect place and you'll know your wording is correct. So I've got my wording there, and also when I designed it I made sure it said draw and that the outside file said cut, so that I'm not going to get any actual crossover from cutting or drawing, etc. So I'm going to press, don't need to add or edit anything because I've got enough room on my card. So I'm just going to press OK, and then it asks me to select. I'll change hands, sorry, so it's easier for you to see. So press select, and now you have cut, draw, emboss or foil. Well, I'm going to draw, so I'm pressing draw. It will process it, and then we have the little wrench tool here which gives us our options. So I'm going to leave it at draw speed 5, and at the moment I think I'm going to put it up to draw pressure 2, but I don't want it too high because I don't want it to be too inky or overflow, etc. So I'm going to just try it at 2 and we'll see what happens. So press OK to that, and we can see that we have draw. It's going to take 13 minutes, so I'll put you on hold once it starts drawing so that you don't have to wait for 13 minutes. Pressure 2, speed 5, test. Well, I don't need to test because I think it's going to be okay. And then you just press start, and it's, now this is a new option here. On the CM900 and the previous machines, you just had one level with the scanner. So now it's saying me to scanner level is set at position 1, shift the scanner level to position 2. So this scanner level is here, the button on the side of your machine, on the left hand side of this particular machine. So I'm going to flip that up to 2, press OK and press start. It will take the paper in and it will start to draw the actual greeting that I've written on there. So I'm going to just pop you on pause for a little while. As you can see, it's quite quick, but it's still going to take, it says 13 minutes, so it could be 12¼ minutes. So save you waiting. I shall come back when it's actually drawn. Okay, I'm going to pop you on pause. So welcome back. As you can see, we've got 1 minute, or probably less than 1 minute to go. So it's quite handy when it's doing things like this. You can actually pop off and make a cup of tea or do whatever you like. Having looked at the actual drawing that I can see it's doing, I could even possibly have gone down as far as 1 for the pressure, but I think I'm quite happy with what it's done, so I shall stick with that, my project. As you can see, it's a nice sunny day here still in Normandy. We've had an amazing summer and an amazing Indian summer now. It's going to be quite a shock when winter actually comes. It's chillier now obviously, but still nice and sunny with a bit of a breeze, but absolutely glorious, so very happy with that. So we're near enough done. You can see that the blue line, oh there we go, and you can actually see, hopefully you can see the actual outcome from the camera. Yes, you can just about, but I'm not going to hold it up to you just yet because I want to actually cut it next. So I think I must have taken my stylus downstairs with me when I popped off, when I put the video on pause. So I'm just going to press OK, finish drawing. OK. If you weren't happy with that, then you could actually go back to select and redraw it if you wanted to do it. So, right, now I've finished with the actual pen tool. So I'm going to take that out of my machine, a little bit of a wiggle, and don't forget, naturally, to get the pen out, you just literally turn that back to lift it and turn it back to the little slot there, and it will slide out nicely for you. Put your pen top on, because otherwise you'll have a pen with no ink in it. Now I've done something very silly because I actually haven't got my blade out, but never mind, it's in my little pot here. So I shall just go and get that now without disturbing, hopefully, too much my mat. Just for argument's sake, or not for argument's sake really, I always store my blade with the cap that it arrives with on, and I never leave it in the machine because I think it might attract dust or whatever. I don't know whether it keeps it sharper this way or not, but anyway, and it's obviously a little pot there for you to pop it in. So as per usual, you slide your blade in, push the lever down, and I'm going to go back to select. So I don't change anything, but this time I'm going to choose cut. So it's processing, and I like to keep my pressure on 1 when I cut. So I have got the cut, oh, not the pressure, sorry, the cut speed on 1. I'm leaving it on auto because I like to see how it's doing. So I'm going to cut speed 1, auto blade, because I think that's interesting. We've got the auto blade, so why not make use of it? So you can see I have no writing here. I just have the 2 shapes, which should hopefully cut perfectly round my writing. Now, something I haven't done, and I will do another video maybe this afternoon or tomorrow or another day, is I haven't actually calibrated my machine since I've had it, and maybe I should do that just to make sure that it's cutting where it should cut, because it's obviously been transported from presumably Japan to Germany or wherever, and then back out to France, and then back out to me. So it's had quite a little journey on its first leg of its life before it got to me. So it probably might have made a little bit of difference, but we shall see when I actually do that. I will do that live, so you know whether it needs calibrating properly or not. So anyway, so I'm happy with pressure auto, speed 1, half cut off. I don't need the half cut on because I want it to cut all the way through. And it's telling me also it's going to take 1 minute. So I'm going to press start. It's feeding in my mat. It's registering where the actual things are on the actual mat itself. and then it will do a test to see how deep the actual medium is that I have. So now, as you can see, it's very, very quiet. You can't actually even hear it cutting. It's incredible. Be quiet so you can hear it. So this is going on to the next one. So that was very quick, and it looks like it, to me it looks like it's done a perfect cut, but I never like to actually take something off the machine before I know it's cut through. So let's have a little look. So I'm going to lift this up. Oh, and as you can see that bit has cut perfectly. Absolutely a perfect cut. So there we go. So I think my machine might be, oops, I need to get my spatula as well ready to get that off with. That's very silly not to get that out of my little box, and here it is. Okay, because I don't want to spoil what I've just cut. So we're going to lift that up, and there it's set. You can see it says Champagne de Chateau Hazel, who is my friend, and then it says Brut, which is dry, Grand Cru 1938, because she's going to be 80 this year. Okay, and then we have on this piece of paper card here, well, I can take this out now. In actual fact, I can unload the mat because there's no problem there with the cutting. I'm going to take my blade out before I forget and pop the cap back on. Leave that there, and then I can take this off properly. If you're not quite sure, just bend the mat slightly. Okay, and there we go. Special vintage. So that is written. I'll show you the card later on. I'll do a picture of the, oops, sorry. There we go, special vintage. So that is actually slightly below centre. Now that could well have been me when I lined it up, or it could be in the machine. I don't actually know. I'm going to check on what I've done. But that's as simple as it is. But as I say, I would always recommend, and that is going to go on my bottle, which I cut out. I'll just show you my bottle. So I cut a bottle out, a champagne bottle out on this machine. This will go here on some, this will go here on another item, and this will go here around the neck. But it will go on some other, that will go down there. So, but I have some more pieces to put on it that I need to cut out. So I'm very happy with that, and I'm very happy with the cut. And although, I'll show you the mat, it has hairs on it from my jumper. It has a little bit of a cut in it, but it's actually not cut very through the mat. It's only just kissed into the glue really on the mat, and so I'm not disappointed with it cutting through the mat or anything like that. That is a piece of card on the mat there where I took it off. I've used this mat for several cuts now, and I'm quite happy with it, with the result, and I found it's a better result with it on on speed 1 rather, not pressure 1, on speed 1 than on speed 5. So all I do now with my mat is I take a little alcohol-free baby wipe, and I just give it a little wipe over, whoops, before, and that gets rid of the hairs from my jumper, which is useful. Or it might even be dog hairs. I have a black Labrador and his hairs get everywhere. But it just takes all the rubbish off the top of the surface. It rejuvenates the mat. So if you keep your mats nicely, you will see that they will last you for much, much longer. And in actual fact, these mats, you can only put it in one way. So my mats, if I'm not careful, are going to have all their wear up here. So I'm going to have to get used to, in the future, doing things in different places, so I don't just use one area, because this is going to be much stickier than here, and this is going, and here is going to be much stickier. So apparently we can't put these mats in upside down as we could with the old mats, but I'm working on a theory with that, which I shall also hope will help, maybe even let us use our old mats Anyway, watch this space. I shall let you know one way or the other. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little short video, and I'll get back to you soon. Happy crafting and enjoy your machines. Bye.